Main purpose of the text, let's read the text. The following text is from this person, this novel. Anne, an 11-year-old girl, has come to live on a farm with a woman named Marilla in Nova Scotia, Canada. Anne reveled in the world of color about her. "Oh, Marilla," she exclaimed one Saturday morning, coming dancing in with her arms full of gorgeous boughs. "I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers. It would be terrible if you just skipped from September to November, wouldn't it? Look at these maple branches. Don't they give you a thrill, several thrills? I'm going to decorate my room with them." So, okay, this just seems positive. She's happy about stuff. I don't know. "Messy thing," said Marilla, whose aesthetic sense was not noticeably developed. "You clutter up your room entirely too much with out-of-doors stuff, and bedrooms were made to sleep in." Okay, well, there's some sort of contrast between these two people. Let's take a look at the choices. A, to demonstrate that Anne has a newly developed appreciation of nature. Well, there's a very strong word in this choice, newly developed. It says that she's reveling in the world of color, that she's excited about it, but at no point does this say that this is like the first time she's ever experienced this, right? I mean, maybe she's always been interested in color and Octobers or whatever. So we have no proof that this is a new thing. It's just new to us because we've never read about this person before. So that's not the same thing, right? New is such a strong word here. We really have to be careful of something like that. It brings a lot of meaning to this choice. And that meaning I don't think is supported. I mean, maybe I'll leave it in since it's just that word, but it's definitely scary. Let's look at B. To describe an argument that Anne and Marilla often have. See, here's another case where one word really sticks out to me. That brings in the concept of time. We have one little piece of this book. We don't know the rest of the book. We're not allowed to make guesses about what else is going on in the book from this one piece. So here it seems like they have a little bit of an argument, but do they often have that argument? No, we would need evidence of that. Maybe they do. Maybe you've read Anne of Green Gables and you know for a fact that those two characters are always going at it, but you're not allowed to use that to answer the question. So little words that have a lot of meaning are important, and we need to train our brain to notice them. So in both cases, we've got some strong words here that many people are going to ignore. The word newly and the word often. So I'm much more confident in B being wrong, but let's look at C. To emphasize Marilla's disapproval of how Anne has decorated her room. Okay, well, there's definitely disapproval, so maybe that checks out. Let's look at D. To show that Anne and Marilla have very different personalities. I don't love that it says very different. Again, we kind of just get this one specific example. Does that mean that they have different personalities just because one of them likes bringing branches in their room and the other doesn't? I don't know. But I'm definitely between C and D. I'm going to get rid of A. I'm confident that we did not prove that this is some sort of new thing. There's no word there. I'm kind of re-looking at it and I'm not seeing anything. Now, between C and D, it's very tricky. My instinct is to cross out D, because it's also very strong, right? There's very different personalities. This feels like a big versus small trap, where we are given the very small example of this fight, or whatever you want to call it, about the room decorating. So that's a small example. But the choice is trying to make a big point about these people from that one example, right? Saying that they have very different personalities. Maybe they agree on everything else and just not this. But that is the answer. And I was really stuck on this the first time I did it because of that. I really did not like this. It feels like a trap, but it is in fact the answer. And it's because something very subtle is happening in C. They're changing the tense, basically, of the verbs and then the chronology of the story. Choice C, to emphasize Marilla's disapproval. Check, that's there. She's definitely disapproving of how Anne has decorated her room. Well, they'll go back to the story. It says, I'm going to decorate my room with them, right? So that's tricky, right? She hasn't decorated her room with these things yet. So we've got to be really, really careful here. That seems really sneaky. I don't think the SAT does stuff like this very often, but it just goes to show one or two words can make all the difference here. And by changing the order of that, we've kind of created this trap answer. So D isn't great. I think that that's a big leap. But I'm able to at least say, okay, yeah, one likes color and fun. The other seems to be more of a stick in the mud. So, okay, I don't have a lot to go on, but I can kind of prove this Whereas something like A or B, where we got rid of it because they were going too far, we don't know the rest of the backstory. We have no proof of those things, right? So at least here we have one instance where there is a difference of personality. But in A, we have no words that say that it's new. In B, we have no words saying this has happened multiple times. It's really just, not as easy to prove. And this is tricky. This is a hard question. This is one I think a lot of people are going to get wrong. So hopefully I was able to explain what we need to notice. If you were between C and D, I would say you did a pretty good job, even if you got it wrong. But A and B are words that we really need to notice anytime they appear in a choice. They won't always be wrong. Newly, often, these are words that could be right if they are also supported by something in the passage. So you got to notice them at first in the choice so that you don't ignore them and then go hunting. And sometimes you'll find what you need, but in most cases, that's not going to be the case. So you're going to see that this is a big assumption that we cannot support with the passage. So look out for strong words. They make a big difference.